Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a closet clean out, a closet declutter and organize with me. This is cleaning motivation, just cleaning through anxiety and depression. I always share really real life cleaning motivation. I have been decluttering and organizing one room at a time after taking care of my mom who had cancer. And this video marks the 1 year anniversary since losing her. I really debated making this video, but I really feel like it's so important and you just don't see enough of this type of content on these platforms because it's not easy to share. But I truly hope that it motivates at least one person to get up and start cleaning their mess in their house, decluttering and organizing one space at a time. That is how I am getting through it and getting my life back in order. So dare to come on this journey with me and let's do it.
You make it easy, but every time I fall back again. Tell me all the secrets, 'cause baby I can see the end. Don't slow down.
Hey you guys, welcome back to some more real life cleaning motivation. I have a lot to say in this video and I don't even know where to start because I'm a busy mama and I don't have time to really go through talking points and things before I start my voiceover. So I just have a lot to say and I'm just going to jump into it as I'm showing you the before shots of this mess. First of all, I feel like cleaning really is therapeutic. When you are taking care of someone who is sick in your family, your house can become a complete disaster, not only from going through any kind of depression, anxieties. Just to give a little backstory for anybody who might be new to my channel, my mother had double breast cancer. She transitioned pretty quickly. It was a 3-month process from knowing that she had cancer to her passing. I do believe she knew about it quite a bit beforehand. But basically, I didn't find out until then. I actually took care of my mother. My mother actually decided to have no treatment at all. And I took care of her. She decided to go on hospice and come home with me. So I actually was taking care of my 2-year-old toddler and my mother who was passing at the same time. So it was obviously a very traumatic time 1 year ago. And it's very surreal to even be saying that that was a year ago at this point. Before I get into all of that, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on my dad. If you watched my previous video, um, you know that we also currently at this time have a cancer scare with my father. We believe that it is just basal cell cancer, but we are still waiting the biopsy results. When I made the video last week, I literally had just found out the day before that he went for the biopsy. So, as I'm going through this process of, grief and healing for my mom's 1 year passing, I'm also consistently dealing with trying to figure out what's going on with my father. Hopefully it won't be anything serious and, we're just waiting for the results there. So I obviously have a lot going on. Right? It's almost comical. Also, just on a light note, if you saw me laughing in that last clip, it's because I was organizing my husband's section of the closet, and I seriously think it took me 4 minutes to organize his shirts. And I just started laughing because this video took over 4 hours to film and about 4 minutes to do his side of the closet. So definitely a little bit of a difference between men and women. And my man is a very simplistic man when it comes to clothing. He really could care less. So I was laughing at that, like maybe I need to take a little bit of a note from that because I basically have taken over the entire closet at this point. So, as I stated, I've been doing a little bit of decluttering and organizing, kind of room by room. It's all I have the energy for, especially these past couple of weeks. I feel like as mamas, we are always cleaning up the everyday real life mess. And that's just one thing, it never stops. But when you actually rip apart an entire closet, you really need time to do so, just to put everything back in its place. And so doing one space like this is really therapeutic and feels so good because it's unbelievable how quickly the mess accumulates when you're taking care of so many things. While I was taking care of my mom, I've spoken about it before where it's like a domino effect. Everything just became a complete mess, not just going back when I was talking about it in previous videos. Of course, it's a mess when you're going through them actually, passing, transitioning, but the aftermath of losing somebody. I was her power of attorney, executor of the state for a lot of things. And when you are going through all of that, I think it's something that people don't realize just how much time that takes. I really don't even feel truly like I've had the time to grieve. For months, it was just taking care of things in the aftermath. And I know someone is probably nodding if they were that same person. It really takes so much time at just cleaning out their space, dealing with all of the documents, everything financially, scheduling, any kind of funeral arrangements. It goes on for months. And I feel like when you're in that mode, you're very much just in survival mode. But also, after somebody passes, after going through a very painful, disease like cancer, or at least in my mother's case, you're very almost relieved. I feel like that's just very real to state out loud. You're almost relieved. I was so happy she wasn't in pain anymore. And to be honest, I was so honestly relieved to not having to be caretaking. That's just a really real statement, right? I mean, when you're doing that day in and day out, it is a lot to be taken care of. And then after that, taking care of all of the extras, and also becoming the new matriarch of the family. I think a mother, a good one, is the person that everybody turns to for everything. A mom knows every detail about her kid's life. She knows every medication a kid needs, all of their favorite things, all of their neuroses, their anxieties, all of their joys, and she is the one that keeps the family moving. And I just feel like sometimes mothers don't get enough credit. They are so important. We literally raise children to be good people in this society, and we just are the heart of the home. We make a house a home. And when that person goes, it's one of the things I miss about my mother the most. The world doesn't quite seem to move the same because I'm not the same. I'm not as optimistic as I used to be, and I just don't exist in the same way. But how could you? When you lose your person, it is a grief. I'm not sure if I believe in the 5 stages. I definitely believe it's not linear. You go through all different emotions at different times. And one thing I've learned about grief is that you cannot control when it hits you. And I remember when things started to slow down even a little bit, probably 2 months after her passing, that I considered going to therapy. Hospice offers about, I think, 18 months of free therapy after, especially after taking care of somebody, which is great. But it's not accessible for everybody, especially in different time periods in someone's life. I was a mother of a 2-year-old child. Not to mention, I help out with a lot of different business aspects with my whole family, trying to run this business and mom in 24/7. And it was hard to find people to relate to that scenario when you're up late at night Googling things because you're trying to find someone who can relate to what you're going through, because it's not something that people openly talk about, and people kind of slide away over time while you're still very much in it. It's like time stopped for you, but everybody else just seems to go on, and as they should, but you are trying to find just a connection, because connections and the people in our lives are everything. So the best article that I actually read that explained kind of what I was going through is that a woman was stating that she was trying to go to therapy, and she had a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old daughter. And she had gotten her first daughter off to school, and she had a 2-year-old just like I did, and she was trying to be on the phone for therapy. And just because of everything with this crazy pandemic and everything that the past 3 years has brought, a lot of therapist's office and things were not open and are still not open. I feel like in order to do a therapy, I would need to go in person. I certainly couldn't do it from home with a toddler, and that is what this woman was explaining. And the article made me laugh out loud because she was talking about how she was trying to be on the phone with her therapist, and her 2-year-old daughter had taken her little toy car while she was on the phone and had rolled it down a hill. And so there she is, throwing the phone across, the lawn, running after her daughter, who thankfully wasn't injured, and realized this is ridiculous. I can't do a phone therapy while taking care of a young child. And that is exactly how I feel. To this day, the grief counseling isn't available anywhere but on the phone. There's certain places I'm sure I could travel to go, but when you're so busy, I just feel like I just do not have the time to spend 2 hours or so, driving back and forth from an appointment weekly. It would just honestly, stress me out more to be doing so, because then I'd be staying up late to do all the different things of work that need to get done. Something else that I read, it was an Instagram story from someone who was famous. I don't even remember who it was, but he was talking about how his mother had passed and how he had went to a hotel room for 3 days just to cry it out and let it out. And to be honest with you, my initial reaction is, of course, empathy and understanding what he's going through. But my real reaction was jealousy. I was like, how wonderful would it be to be able to just go someplace for days, if not a week, to cry it out and really feel what you need to feel to start healing. But if you're like me and you're a mom of children, you certainly do not have that option. And so going through this process while having a young child isn't something that I'd wish on anyone, because the only time I really have to process my grief is at night when I'm already so spent from the day. So I do think that the grieving process will take me a little bit longer, but overall, I've been pretty okay. I do think there's something about this 1 year anniversary that has shocked me, that it has hurt so much. And honestly, grief is just such a huge burden to carry. It feels heavy. You have to kind of face it head on. And my mother made me. I am still here and she's not. And I still think of her every day. And if you are going through a loss, I am so sorry. It is the most difficult thing. And maybe the reality is that maybe we really don't ever truly move on. We just learn to cope with it in different ways. And sometimes, honestly, I can't even believe that this is my life. I can't believe that I'm even talking about that she isn't here. There's something so impersonal to me about saying that this is my mother's 1 year anniversary of her passing. I think it's because it feels off. Like in another year or two, it'll just be like, oh yeah, my mother passed away 3 years ago. And it's like, no, she's my person. She will always be with me. She will always be important to me. And I wish more people weren't afraid to talk about the passing of people. I think a lot of people don't check in to say, how are you doing? Or what do you miss about your mom? Because they're afraid you're going to be like glass and break, or maybe it's just too painful for them to even talk about. And that's what I wish I could talk about more, because I miss her warmth. I miss how smart she was and all of her advice. I miss her walking into the room and knowing that you don't have to carry the conversation. I miss when everybody knows that she's there, that it's going to be a fun time, and that she loved my daughter as much as me. Something else that has been just so life altering, I think, that people don't realize is that a grandmother, a good one again, will help take care of your children. And they're the person you can call when you need anything. If you need a break, if you need somebody to watch the kids because they're just driving you crazy, if you have a work deadline. And it has altered my life so much because, after my mom left, I realized that I was going to need assistance with having somebody watch my daughter. And all of a sudden, I had this whole new expense of having to pay someone to do so. And that has been extremely, of an adjustment process. Not only financially is it a pretty extreme cost, but it's the emotional aspect of it. I feel very lucky. I have a nanny that I've spoken about a little bit here and there, but she only comes 3 days a week for about 3 hours a day. So I only have about 9 hours of assistance a week. And when I am taking care of multiple businesses and my daughter, it's just not enough, but it's all that I can afford. And I'm still so thankful for her. She has become like a sister to me, and my daughter absolutely loves her. But it's still not the same because of the business aspect of the relationship. And to give an example of the difference, you can call up your mom and just be like, Mom, my hair isn't curling right. I'm frustrated with my husband. I have 10,000 things to do and I just can't deal. I need you to come over. And mom's going to come over with bells on to take care of the grandchild as long as, she's able and doesn't have other plans. And it's just a totally different aspect when you have to have now a business relationship and also realizing that literally for the rest of my days, I do not have that person to turn to that will drop everything to come help if needed with my daughter. And that is one of the biggest and hardest pills to swallow for me, not just obviously the, like, as stated, financial aspect, but I knew when my mother passed that that was going to be the struggle of my life, not having her to discuss things, just about everything with my daughter. Sometimes I actually feel like the joyful moments are the hardest to face. And something that just sounds so ridiculous, but honestly hit me so hard is about 4 months after her passing, the pandemic was, finally calming down. People were going back out to restaurants and things. And I had taken my daughter out to a restaurant because I used to love taking her even when she was, 1 years old to places. And we were just having the best time. Little Miss Thing was ordering her chicken fingers and French fries, and the waitress and things was talking about how adorable she was. And in that moment, I wanted to send my mom a text, and I actually did, just to send it out into the world. It's almost like you want to speak it out loud sometimes. Obviously, she's not going to answer, but it just felt good to send her a text message. And I just sent something like, Maddie and I are out to a restaurant. We're having such a good time. And I put the phone down and we were just eating our food, having fun. And all of a sudden, a person texted back, like saying, I'm sorry, who is this? And I remember it hit me like I felt like I couldn't breathe because it was like, who are you? Like, that was my mother's phone for 10 years. How can somebody else be responding to her phone number? And it's things like that in grief that shake you and throw you into the acceptance process of healing. And it is not easy to go through. It feels so gut wrenching and shocking. I think it takes a lot to really come to terms with the fact that they're not there. And it's moments like that that you realize, like, yes, of course somebody else took over her phone number, but you're not really thinking about that because to you, you're still hoping that they're still there almost. And so it's those moments that I feel like are the hardest to go through, but so necessary because it almost needs to shock you into reality. And I also just try to remember that I believe that my mother is watching over me, even if it's not in the physical sense anymore. One of the most amazing things that happened after her passing, um, that really made me believe when it's your time to go, it is your time to go, is that we were sitting with the funeral director. And I had actually picked that funeral. I actually remembered that my grandfather went there many years ago, and it was close by. And me and my father were sitting there going over all of the arrangements. And when he saw my mother's maiden name, he said to me, Wasn't there a Joyce that was here as well?" And I was like, "That was my grandmother, my mom's mom." And actually didn't remember that she was there. I actually remembered my mom or my grandmother being in a facility. And so he said, "Hold on a second. I need to go check something because I remember a lot of things. It's kind of odd after doing this for so many years. And when I was looking up some information for your mother for paperwork, I had stumbled across that." He had come back with a piece of paper And he showed me that my grandmother had passed on the same exact day, July 21st, 13 years ago. And the chills that went over my body I can't even begin to describe that. It was like my grandmother and mom had almost planned that same day, like it was meant to be on that day. And July 21st is also my parents' wedding anniversary. And my mom had asked earlier in that day, the last moment that she could talk, about a day before, what day it was. And we believe that she actually waited to transition because they didn't actually pronounce her to have died until 12:03 in the morning, when that was my parents' wedding anniversary. So after going through that, it's things like that that make you really realize that when it's your time, it's your time, and that certain dates really do have such a significance. And I felt like that was so special because it felt like I knew that my mom's mom was there for her when she was leaving, and that I had somehow picked out the same exact funeral home for that date. And realizing that the funeral director said to me, think about this. 13 years ago, your mother was literally sitting in that same exact chair having this same conversation with me. I mean, it's just truly mind blowing, and it really brought me some peace and felt very special. And I will always look at this date as something of significance in my family after that. One of the last things I wanted to state is a quote that I read, and I have read many throughout the past year to try to find healing, is from J.K. Rowling and from Harry Potter, I believe, ironically. And she stated, "Love as powerful as your mother's leaves its own mark. To have been loved so deeply will give us some protection forever." And that is exactly how I feel. I am Terry's daughter. I was enveloped with love and knowing that I was the most important thing in my mother's life. And I will always almost be invincible for that because I know I was so loved. And there is no better gift than a mother can give to her child than that. And I don't know much after her passing, but I do know that I will pass that on to my daughter as well. I just wanted to thank absolutely anyone who took the time to watch this. And here's hope that we all heal and we all thrive as we're going through the loss of someone so important to us. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
I wish I had a little more time with you, baby. Time to figure out what this could be. I dreamt of a life in a small town that wasn't enough for you somehow. I just wish I had a little more time with you, baby. Weeks and months and years they passed, and I knew it wouldn't last. When tears streamed down my face, my mama said,
Hi, can you look at mommy?
Molly, come here.
Can you look at mommy? Maddie, what's...
Oh, let's see how pretty she is. Ah, there she is. Where's Maddie, girl? Oh, Miss Maddie, look at you. Look at you, sweetheart. Woo! Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at it. Can you smile for me? Can you smile? You want to open some presents for your birthday? You want to open some presents for your birthday? This isn't going in and out. Oh, there it is. It's not going in closer though. Huh? It's, oh, there. Wait, no. It's still not. Okay. There's a good shot. Okay. Hi, guys. Hi, Maddie. Can you push her little hair out of the way there? No, the other side with the... where the bow is? Yeah. Maybe you should put the bow on the hair. It's okay, the rings are cute. Hi, here, run. Hi, cutie. Yeah, like here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hi, cutie. Hi, cutie. Look at you. Look at you. Look at how pretty you guys are. Look at how pretty you guys are. Look up at the camera. Look up at the camera. Hi. Sweetheart. Hello. Who's coming to see you? I'll just get Grandpa for posterity. Hi, Grandpa, for posterity. How you doing?
Take your time.
Okay, I got you. You can go.
Okay, John, come here quick, just you go.
Let me get in close here now. Hold on. Not in front of your full face. Stop it. Give her a kiss, John. Give her. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Oh my God. Bye, John. Bye. John, look at me. Say bye. Bye. Oh, John. Jill, you love that picture of him. Yeah, he waved bye. I got everybody's button here. That's good. Okay, Mitch. Where are you guys going?